So today I'm going to be changing out the spacers on my back tires. I'm going to be doing them on the front too, but they haven't arrived yet. So I have these. This is two of them, one for the left, one for the right. They're 1.5 inch spacers. Currently I'm running 1 inch spacers, and you can see it's still recessed back up in there a bit. So I want to go out with it to get it more flush. So I'm gonna go with 1.5 inches. All right, so it started raining out here, but I'm hardcore. I keep at it. All right, so again, these right here are the 1 inch spacers on here. I'm going to 1.5 inch. And if you ever wonder how it works, you can see your original studs here, right here. And you can see they protrude past that. And these are the studs that come on the spacer pressed in. And so you can see it protrudes past that. The reason it doesn't hit the back of your rims and prevent you from putting your rims on, because the rims are going to have these little recessed areas between there, so they go up in there. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is remove these nuts here. And sometimes you may find that your socket may not fit up in there. And sometimes you just gotta go find one with a thinner wall. Some will just have thicker walls, some just have thinner walls. So just look for one with a thinner wall if that's the issue you're running into. And in case when you go to tighten or loosen these up and your wheel and it spins, then you may either have somebody step on the brakes inside the car, or just take a pole and put it on the brake and jam it between the seat to hold that brake pressure. All right, now a lot of times these are pretty tight up in there, so they don't just pop off, because it's not only wheel centric, meaning that you have this lip here to keep your wheel centered, but it's hub centric too, where it's going around the hub that has a lip similar to this up in there too. So it can be pretty tight, and so we're just gonna have to work it off of there, okay? I'll show you probably a little trick. All right, this little trick I'm gonna try now is something that works out pretty good when you have like an old rotor, but I don't have an old rotor with the same pattern laying around, so I'm just gonna take a couple of these screws and put them on there, or nuts and put them on there, like so. This will go in a few threads. That way I can still go back and forth like that. Let me throw one over here too to keep that, when I'm pulling, more even. With a rotor, I'll have more room to be able to do that and get a good thing, but now I don't. But let's see how it works, okay? Yep, it's coming. All right, now that I got a little space up in there, now I can just go in and push it on out the rest of the way. See that? Why make it difficult when you don't have to? All right, so now I can take these back out. And you can see the thickness difference. As you can see, I got some anti-seize up in there. So what I like to do is have anti-seize up around here and even along up in here. That way when it's time to take it off, it's a lot easier, so it doesn't get all rusty up on there. So since I've already cleaned up this lip from the previous installation, because rust can build up on that, so you want to clean that off. Hey, I just want to stress that if you are having any problems pushing on your adapter, your wheel adapter, it's most likely because you see your center hub right here, that lip is probably all rusty. that little bit of rust build up on there, because this is going to be a tight fit for this right here. They make it so it's going to be hub centric. In order to do that, it needs to be able to go directly on there. So any rust buildup on here is going to prevent that from happening. So you're going to have to take your wire brush or one of those adapters you put on your drill and clean that all off, and then put a thin layer like I did right here of anti-seize on there, and then put your wheel adapter on, all right? And then it will go on much easier. And now I can put this one on, since that anti-seize is still on there from the previous one. Now it's time for the wheel to go back on. Back you up a bit. Now, in case you guys are wondering, I've been running wheel spacers on multiple types of cars of mine for the past 20 years. Never had one single issue. Of course, you have to be smart. You got to get in there and retorque those things down, you know, check on them. You know, once you got them all, they're nice and settled in, then you're fine. You'll have to keep checking them. But initially, you want to definitely check those torques. But I've been running them about 20 years, never had a single issue. All right, so there we go. And that's what I wanted more. I wanted more flush now. Of course, I just jacked it up, so the gap is sitting higher, but once you get in and sit in it and drive around, the suspension settles back down and the gap isn't as big there. But now it's nice and flush the way I want it. I'm going to be pushing those out about a 1/4 inch up front, and this will give it a lot more aggressive of a stance. So if you guys like what you saw, hit the like button and definitely hit the subscribe button, because I have a lot of other YouTube videos out there working on my CTS coupe and a few other my other cars too as well. So please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for joining, guys.